Astrology. So today we're going to talk about the number one reason why people are afraid to get a psychic or a psychic medium reading. One of the things that I find is amazing is people don't understand what happens during a psychic medium reading. And, you know, there is a difference between a psychic and a psychic medium. You probably heard it a million times, but a medium is always psychic, but a psychic is not always a medium. So a medium has the talent to, or the gift to tap in to the other side with deceased loved ones and or anybody from the other side. And a psychic is someone that has abilities of tapping into the matrix where they could pick up on your thoughts and what your desires are, things like that. They could tap into your energy, your living energy. And then there's different layers of all this talent, like if someone gave you a pen and there was maybe like a missing person, you could hold on to that. It's and then you pick up the vibes from that object. So there are different levels, but the thing is, it's all energy work. So that's what I want to share with you is like, it's not, don't be afraid of the energy work itself. Understand, and maybe when you understand, you won't be afraid. So can things go bad for a reading? Not with me, but I do a whole ritual with, you know, prayers and sensing the house, incensing and doing lots of stuff to keep the energy clean. I take my shower and I just have the water release all the cords that are attached to me so they don't grow big like a tree trunk, and then I have no energy. But there are a lot of topics under this whole umbrella of what goes on in the psychic world. But what the fear is the fear of the unknown. And don't forget, you have control as to what is going on in the, you know, reading. So you could choose to believe what that person is saying to you, and or you could choose to say, yeah, you know, I agree with that. So the other thing is, if you feel like you're not in a good fit with the person that you're sitting with, end the reading and say, you know, this isn't a good fit. Any professional psychic will say, okay. And, you know, you could tell after a minute or two, or even 3 minutes. But if you feel uncomfortable doing that, just, you know, say, can we cut this short? You know, I have to leave or whatever, and pay the minimal fee. But most of the time, you will know if it's a good fit. And a psychic reading is also going to do two things. The first thing it's going to do is it's going to give you the energy that the psychic tapped into. Sometimes that energy or that information is not what you want to hear. It may be something that your guides, your deceased loved ones, your guardian angels, totem animals, the source, it doesn't matter what you call it, but the energy that's in your heart is transmitted out into the universe, and now it's being reflected back through the psychic or psychic medium to give you this message. So for example, the message, the person says, well, I want to know about my love life. But then the next thing you know, this message comes in and says, you need to set clear boundaries, get rid of toxic relationships, and move forward. Well, the person now is saying, wow, that's funny. You should say that. If I had 10 cents for every time I heard that expression, I'd probably be retired and never have to work again in my life. But I love what I'm doing. But I'm just saying, it's so bizarre. So, well, it's not bizarre, but it's so uncanny how it works, because the spirit world is, consider it like a hey Siri. So when you whenever you go see a psychic, you're actually saying, hey, Siri, and then you're asking the answers. And of course, I just activated mine, but it happens all the time. So they are there, the spiritual beings, to tell you, yes, this is what you need to hear. And then when that is cleared up, the first, because the guides will prioritize. So they'll tell you what you need to know first. And then if we have enough time, that will take care of the first thing. Then if we have enough time, we could go into more layers of what you need to hear. That's why when you do a long reading, let's say for an hour, or you have multiple readings, that is the best way, because now you're tapped in. And, every single session that I do is under the umbrella of life coaching, because I'm your soundboard. I listen to what you have to say. And then it's a no judgment zone. We're not judging anybody. And that's another reason why people are afraid to go see a psychic person, because they're afraid of, number one, they might be judged. Number two, maybe they're not going to get the answer that they want. So now the second thing that happens sometimes is, and it's happened to me, is the person reading me, the psychic, does not tell me what I want to hear. So what does that do for me? It helps clarify what I really want. Do I really want this? So that's your free will. So you go and say, I'm not listening to that psychic. They don't know what they're talking about. But guess what? It was a fruitful session because you gain clarity. And most people that get psychic readings, they want 1, clarity, 2, comfort, 3, validation for what they're already thinking in their mind. And they really need a soundboard. There's something about talking to another person where you actually verbalize what you have to say. And also, for the record, I have many successful people calling me and asking me about $1 million contracts, all kinds of stuff. And I always tell them, look, I'm a psychic. I am not responsible for any outcomes, but I will tap into the energies. But they call back and they keep calling back. So that is what I wanted to talk about, is why people are afraid of psychic medium readings. I encourage you to develop your psychic abilities, because the more developed you are, the better the reading you're going to get. And to understand that just because you don't see something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. There's a lot going on. Every time you use your device and say HEYSIRI, or whatever your virtual assistant is on your device, that's the way the invisible world is. They are there to help you and take care of you. You have to ask. So thank you again. Please follow us on TikTok, Holistic Healing Astrology, along with Instagram. Go ahead and go into our website, holistichealingastrology.com, and schedule for your reading. As you probably already know, once you've been a client, one-time client, you always get the returning client fee, which is a significant discount. And you could have anything from a psychic reading, a life coaching reading, or an astrology reading, or all three at once, because that's my aim, is to do all three, but I let you decide. Sometimes in the psychic readings, I might want to ask something about your astrology, but all my astrology readings are intuitive. My psychic abilities cannot be stopped there. So take advantage. And we also do classes. They're starting up in April. We do parties. Those are so much fun. And I'm also associated with the local ARE, the Association for Research and Enlightenment, the Edgar Cayce Foundation. And I'm there usually once a month. And then around town, I do some events too, to keep it light. But I thank you again, and we will talk soon.